Why in the world would you ever buy an electric motorcycle? Well, stick with me and I'll explain to you my thought process that I went through when purchasing my 2020 ZERO SRF. Hello everybody, coming at you with all my might. It's Mike. How you guys doing today? If you haven't slapped that subscribe button already, make sure you hit it. It really helps out. So why would you buy an electric motorcycle? Well, that's a question a lot of people are actually asking themselves, and it's a question I asked myself, and I'm going to go over my reasons. This is more of a mental reason, more so over the physical. I give more of the physical reason in my last video. If you haven't seen that, the link to the video is in the description. So my whole mentality behind buying an electric motorcycle is ZERO hit it out of the park with the SRF and the SRS. Out of the park, because it looks like a motorcycle. The prior generations of ZERO, yeah, they're cool, but they're otherworldly. When you look at a motorcycle and you're like, what is it? That does not scream in your face, hey, I'm a motorcycle. I mean, it's just not what people are used to seeing. When I walked in to the dealership to first test ride a bike, I looked and I saw this sitting next to the SR. And the SR has an 120 on the back for a tire width. 120. It is a baby tire. And they still wanted 16 grand for it. Well, if you would know, I paid 16 grand for this. Essentially, if you do some hunting, I guarantee you could probably get an SR cheaper. But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't even have big boy parts on it. Like, the front tire is a dinky front tire. It's like a 110. And the rear is a 120. So you're paying all that money for a bike that just, it doesn't scream, I am a motorcycle. This, it's on par with all the other motorcycles. And in my perspective, you know. So if you want a company to survive, they have to be funded. So if a company really nails a motorcycle and you're like, hey, I like what this company's doing, I'm gonna support this company. You can't just say, oh, I'll wait 10 years for when, you know, I could fill it up in 10 seconds like a gas can. And I'm like, okay, hold on. A company is actively making choices in their design and everything to further the brand, and you're gonna just wait? Well, here's the problem. If you do that, the company will die. So personally, I felt they really nailed it, and that's what made me want to throw my money at this bike, and I've been nothing but pleased with it. Now, you can spend a lot more money on this same bike, but I didn't need the premium model, and we'll go over that topic in another video. But the fact of the matter is if you want something to progress, you got to pay for it. I wouldn't say this is the ground floor. I would say we're in mid-tier right now. You know, they have so much potential, but, you know, everybody complains about infrastructure. And let me tell you what, there's no charging stations in my area. There's one for Tesla within 30 miles. That's about it. Actually, it might be further than that. But there's literally no charging here in rural Pennsylvania, in my section of rural Pennsylvania. And that's not gonna get any better unless people start purchasing electric vehicles. So I feel like I wanted to be part of something bigger. Getting all the, I mean, there's so much mechanical advantages over a conventional motor than with electric. Yes, you don't have oil to change, you don't have all the moving parts. There's literally one moving propulsion unit in this motorcycle. And then everybody's like, oh, well, there's just so much electronic bits. Well, okay, you get on a KTM 1290 and tell me that it can run without the electronic bits. It can't. So you're basically on the same ballpark. I like ZERO because even though it came from California, California is still part of America, still part of the United States, but so it's an American-made motorcycle, and American-made, there hasn't been an American-made motorcycles in years. Harley Davidson, yeah, but they don't have anything that can compete with this in this price range, and that is very important. I would say this is a very affordable electric bike. I mean, like I said, 16 grand. I mean, if someone can buy a Super Duke, they can buy this. And let me tell you what, there's a lot of people with Super Dukes. And I compare everything to the Super Duke. You'll notice that. It's because I wanted one. And I did a lot of research on them. I absolutely love KTM's products. But they're not American. So if we were to highlight things a little bit, one, I want Zero to survive. So I'm gonna get on their bike and I'm gonna love it. And I do love it. I mean, I'm not faking this. So I'm gonna tell more people about their bike that I love. And more people will try it and ride it and love it and buy it. And then Zero gets more and more money, because this is how companies work. They get more and more money. They develop more and more advanced and equipment. I get 80 miles to a charge, and that scares a lot of people. Well, honestly, I don't I don't ever have the time to ride 80 miles. I had to wake up super early in the morning to get out here and ride before work. I still have to work another, 8 to 12 hours today. And it's gonna be dark, but I just see so many people taking the back seat. They just want to wait for change. Well, change isn't something you could just wait for. You have to go out and get it. So if I want more, I'll tell you what, they put one charging station in for Tesla, and the amount of Teslas I see in my area skyrocketed. Just skyrocketed, because they're like, hey, look, there's a charging station, look, it's so convenient. And I kid you not, I'm a delivery individual. So I'm all over my town, and I see all these cars, and ever since they put that thing in there, the amount of Teslas skyrocketed. You went from seeing one every occasion to now there's 5 to 10. So if you do the same thing with electric motorcycles, you do the same thing with all electric vehicles. And there's just so much performance in the electric vehicle. And 90% of people don't even go the distance. Like I said, I use this for mostly commuting. This, in my mind, is like a sports car. And I gave this analogy in one of my comments. Oh, look, some turkeys. There's turkeys in the road. They don't hear me coming because I'm an electric motorcycle. There's turkeys in the road. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Turkey in the road. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Sorry, that was a little bit distracting there.